Good morning, everybody, and it's a great pleasure to be here. And thanks very much for inviting me along to this launch of this important and very timely document, this prospectus, which I've enjoyed reading. I'm sure you will in the days and weeks to come. The Liverpool City Region Local Enterprise Partnership, and Geoffrey expressed it perfectly, and the words City Region are important in our title. I just wish to bring those to our attention. Was very important indeed very pleased indeed to support the BLT's initiatives to bring forward this prospectus here at SciTech Daresbury. And I'm been around long enough to see the opportunities, the progress of SciTech Daresbury. There was a time when synchrotron headed south, where our future was uncertain. And when I come back today and see it, it is extraordinary. It's a manifestation of determination, of ambition, and driving forward progress. And to see where we are now, where we might have been, I think is an amazing achievement for all concerned, Susan. So thank you to you and your team. What might have been otherwise, if I might just touch on the investment by North West Development Agency of over £50 million in here, that was the catalyst for change. But it is that agglomeration, those seats of intense achievement and knowledge which drive the region forward in a particular way. And we know we have here something very special, not just for here in the Northwest, but also for the whole of the UK. And we are, as Geoffrey rightly said, we are in the Liverpool City region. I remember I was at an Accenture building actually just over a year ago when the Prime Minister was then present. And the Prime Minister, raised the question of SciTech Daresbury, not surprisingly. And three members of those present, including me, were interested, and three claimed to have the right to talk about SciTech Daresbury. That included Manchester, including Cheshire, and of course including Liverpool, because we are in the borough of Halton, which is in the city region of Liverpool. And in this respect, I must... So I made that perfectly clear to the Prime Minister. I hope he took the point, but I certainly made the point. And but at this moment, perhaps just, if I might, just explain and really commend the work done by Graham Evans and by Andrew Miller, respectively. Andrew stepped down last election. Graham is, of course, continuing a hugely influential and energetic MP. What they have done to take forward SciTech Daresbury to the state it now is, and it is so significant, an asset, as I say, for the nation. I just like also, if I might at this stage, to commend the BLT, Geoffrey, his team and Accenture on producing this punchy, this well-informed and very timely prospectus. I think it's a document of which not only those in this room, but the region should be very proud indeed. And I say it's timely, it is timely. One can't pre-plan these things, Geoffrey, but in terms of timing, this is quite immaculate. We have now a new government with a 5-year term, we expect, and I'm sure that will be the case. We have a Chancellor whose focus on the Northern Powerhouse in June of last year emphasised devolution, emphasised connectivity, and he also emphasised science. Science was at the core of his speech at Mosey in June 2014. It remains so in his speech in Manchester again last week, and therefore this is wholly appropriate and wholly in tune and extraordinarily timely. But it also, importantly, it restates and it records in a very special way the assets and the capabilities of the northwest of England. And it records and I think encourages us to deliver those ambitions to allow us to capture the opportunities around science and innovation. And that is that Northwest is a premier location for science and technology. And I say that for a couple of reasons actually. The primary one is that the Northwest was dismantled. It was dismantled 5 years ago. The region, which I heard this morning frequently, was a word that one could not express. It was as simple as that. And therefore we were dismantled into 5 LEP areas. The Northwest wasn't there. And suddenly we have the chance now to reassemble. And this is the part of that reassembly, the resurrection, Jeffrey, of the Northwest region. And we see us here once more proudly exploiting, extolling and promoting the qualities of the Northwest. And that's how it should be, because the whole is bigger than the sum of the parts, and that applies to the Northwest. So quite apart from the intricacies and the detail of this document, to see the Northwest presented in this particular way is vital. And secondly, there are very few organisations, if any, other than the business leadership team who will exploit and communicate that Northwest story in the way you have. So this is why this, to me, is a very special content, special in terms of what it says, but special in that it takes forward and promotes the Northwest as a region in that particular way. And it does, I think, outline our remarkable and our varied offer in the area of innovation and science, and just how the Northwest competes on context and value rather than simply price and cost, where it does also compete. But it is about value and also scale and expertise. As the document says, the Northwest is the fastest growing economy per capita within the UK, and our science and innovation capability is at the heart of that particular growth. As I say, science drives activities which are relevant to our economy, but more than that, there is the wider application of those activities. It's not just the mere research and knowledge that science actually requires, but applying that application of innovation and science-based investment helps us to develop solutions for the future in the major issues that we face. For example, around an ageing population, and that's a subject which interests me particularly. The scarcity of resources, or indeed personalised medicine, but those are applications. It's not just the question of research of itself, hugely important, but how those applications are worked through into everyday life and everyday commercial opportunities. So the way the assets of the city region and the wider Northwest outlined in this prospectus deliver a growing, powerful economic business base is vital. One of our key challenges to convert that science, that research, into something which matters in terms of GVA growth. And this is important to us in the Liverpool City region. We're coming out of quite a severe recession in there, but we have had a resilient and a growing economy. Our economic progress, our economic rate highest it has been for over a decade. 23,000 private sector jobs were created since 2010. But our low business density creation rate is still unsatisfactory, and that's held us back over some time and continues to do so. So we need the support of those innovative businesses. Again, another driver from this very important prospectus, how to get people into those key areas. Higher levels of entrepreneurship is alone not the answer. It's important, but not the sole answer, because it is the new technology-rich startups with innovative solutions in medium-sized companies that they will make that significant impact to net economic growth and address that productivity challenge. Productivity will be the theme of the next few years. We need to create more higher skilled, knowledge-led jobs, and that's what we'll see. And as wages begin to escalate, that the drive for increased productivity will intensify, and this sector will be part of the cure for that particular challenge. So I believe our plan in the Liverpool City region is very much a shared vision, entirely consistent with this prospectus, and we set out a set of key priorities to focus on areas, in fact 12 key programs which will drive and enable long-term change in the city region, and at the same time create that GVA growth and the jobs. And those 12 programs are on the slide now. I won't go through them, but suffice to say this: they are collaborative. They require that ecosystem of partnerships and knowledge and intent, and building on our major transitional centres in our universities, in R&D, and of course in the industry itself. And therefore we will press very fiercely indeed to accelerate that commercialization of that scientific research, to develop the right skills needed for the future, and to access new markets to attract and retain that inward investment. And our plan will also build on established delivery methods whilst challenging partners to work more effectively at scale. But the focus is, as always, on deliverability. That is the key, capturing growth and developing a national and international track record for innovation and success. So truly, in the words of the prospectus, from discovery to delivery. And that, to my mind, is the key. And our innovation plan in Liverpool City region, that'll develop and support the growth of a first-rate innovation ecosystem, exchanging those ideas and those partnerships and building on the nationally and internationally significant science, technology and innovation assets at SciTech Daresbury and the Liverpool Knowledge Quarter. And alongside those key programmes, such as SciTech Daresbury, outlined by Susan and by Fiona, our plan will focus on key projects to which Fiona referred. For example, the Materials Innovation Factory, led by Unilever, in close conjunction with the University of Liverpool, and one of those 12 projects I showed on the previous slide. And that's the MIF. And here we have a description of its main components. It is about an open innovation partnership, supporting manufacturing at the molecular level, and building on that partnership between the university, Liverpool, and HEFCE. And the Materials Innovation Factory itself will house a set of shared laboratory facilities, bringing over £10 million worth of measurement and testing instrumentation in a new £37 million building at the heart of the University of Liverpool's campus. That's one example of 12 other projects of similar scale, but driving forward what we think is vital to contribute to the national opportunities, but also to job creation and that knowledge-led economy in the city region. So our challenge is to embed those investments, those 12 programmes, alongside our other opportunities within the university's enterprise zone. For example, Sensor City, which I'll mention but not elaborate upon, but a vital another component of something hard fought for through our local growth deals, and putting that knowledge and opportunity for younger people into our local economy and attracting high growth companies. I say that for one reason only, really, to as background to explain what's happening in Liverpool, but more importantly to say how that aligns perfectly with this prospectus. What I've described is an illustration, an example of what this is all about, vital to the future of the Northwest on that broader scale. And that's why this document, Geoffrey, is useful to us. We use it nationally, we use it internationally, and we use it in our relationships and dialogue with government. So thank you for that. It enables us to have the base on which to explain how this fits in to that much wider landscape. Finally, if I might, just to return to the point on which I started, which is the thought leadership pieces coming out, programmes and dissertations coming out, Jürgen, out of BLT have been exceptional. We've heard them this morning, transport skills and so on, connectivity. They've been thought-provoking, they've been communicative, they've been strategic, and they've embraced the Northwest in a way that no other organisation can. So I thank you for that. The work that BLT does is special. It's not replicated elsewhere. Long may it continue. Thank you very much indeed.